So welcome to my spoiler-free review for the 2023 Super Mario Bros. Movie. Yes, not the 1993 movie that a lot of you are thinking about right now, and I know a lot of you are trying to forget about right now. I know it's a comfort zone film. It was a Super Mario Bros. Movie that came out back in the day. It was not too hot, and since then we've always been interested in seeing what they could do with a really good Super Mario Bros. Movie. And is this movie today a great Mario movie? We're gonna get absolutely into it. I have to say that I saw all the trailers when they mentioned this movie and I thought, oh, it looks really, really good. And then they mentioned the voice acting cast. And a little bit of it was kind of like, what? Jack Black is doing Bowser? I'm like, oh, okay, I can kind of see that. And Seth Rogen is doing Donkey Kong. I'm like, okay. And then they're like, Chris Pratt is doing Mario's voice. And I'm like, Chris Pratt is doing an Italian plumber's voice in this movie. And like a lot of the internet, a lot of us were very skeptical about this idea. And I want to say one thing for the record is that I think the reason why I am like that is because I really like Charles Martinet's voice in Mario. And I think he's such a great voice actor. And I think he could have absolutely done the entire movie. I'm going to say that right to begin with. Charles Martinet could have done this movie because Mario does not have huge monologues to get through in this movie. So Charles could have easily done it, but they went with Chris Pratt because he's the star power looker type of guy that they want in Hollywood to represent this movie. And how is it? How is the whole movie? We're going to get into this. From a visual point of view, we're just going to talk about visuals for a second. We're going to get into plot. I promise you no spoilers. Visuals by Illumination are something else. And they absolutely nail the visual look of the Mario universe and all of the characters and the expressions. And they do it with such love and such caring that you can tell that people really cared about this production and they wanted to get it right, 100%. So the visuals, they totally work. I mean, I was mesmerized looking at some of this stuff, and I'm going to get into the fan service in a second because that's a huge thing into itself. But visuals, it kind of showed you what the future of Nintendo consoles can look like. There's Mario Kart sequences in here. There's, this classic Mushroom Kingdom sequences in here that you're going to go, oh my god, the future of video gaming is going to be very, very bright. You kind of got a little bit of a glimpse into what the future of Nintendo holds, and I was very, very impressed with that. And that fan service, we're going to get to it. The story is a simple one, and it's a very, very simple story, and I kind of like that. When have any of the Mario games had overly complicated stories? They're not Resident Evil, they're not The Last of Us, they're not meant to be, and we don't want them to be at all. And so the story is very simple in this, and all of the characters are represented the way that they are in the games. And they flesh out a little bit more how the characters meet and all of that, and some of that's a little strange, but it's okay, and it works. And we have a very simple storyline going all the way through, right to the end. There's no big plot twists. There's no any moments where you went, I didn't see that coming. Everything is very surface, and for a Mario film, I think that works. If they did anything too crazy, and took us away from what they've created in the games, I think we'd feel like a little lost. And you never feel lost. You always feel very, very at home in the Mario universes here. And everything is represented, nearly everything. To get everything in a Mario movie from the games would be quite an ordeal. But I want to say this is where I get into the fan service of it all. They went above and beyond trying to get in so many references from so many of the Mario games, never mind other Nintendo IPs, and that's represented in the visuals, in the sound effects, in the music. There's so much music that you're like, oh my god, I know it from this game, I know this from this game, oh, I know this from this. A lot of member berries are in here, for sure, and a lot of things that you said, oh my god, I can't believe that's from this game, this from this game. I'm not going to ruin any of them for you, because a lot of them were big surprises for me, and I absolutely adored seeing some of them. And for me, going into this movie, it's a very, very simple storyline, as we said. There's a lot of fan service, and that's what I'm going to get into. Most of the movie just feels like a lot of fan service, and very superficial that way. But it's so good at times that you kind of like, I'm just going with it. It's like an amusement ride, this entire movie. But it really honors the games. There's like, I don't want to say anything, but there's like side view sequences and things like that. And things that you're like, oh my God, that's right out of a Mario game. But done in a different way in a movie format that we haven't seen before. And how are the voices? Chris Pratt, I'm going to say it, you just kind of forget about it in the beginning. And there's some kind of like jokes about that. I don't want to ruin that either. But you kind of just get into the story, you get into everything, and Chris Pratt's talking as Mario. And you're like, you all of a sudden just forget about all of the names. All of the names. You're like, oh, like Seth Rogen comes up as Donkey Kong. And I wasn't going, oh my God, Seth Rogen is Donkey Kong. I thought it for the first second, then it was gone. I was just into the character. And I was kind of like into that with Mario and Luigi. And especially Princess Peach as well. I do want to say the big star of the show is Jack Black as Bowser. Yes, he's very Jack Black as Bowser, but it's really funny. And I those times that I was laughing at his performance, it really had me sold. I was like, he's really got me. This is really a lot of fun. And I gotta say that I really enjoyed all of the characters. I really did. I enjoyed all of their voice acting. Everything felt fitting. They didn't change any characters, make anybody different from what they used to be. All of the characters are exactly what you expect from the games into a movie. You're going to get that and then some. So I don't think the movie by any stretch of the imagination is bad. I just think it's a very, very simplistic. And I think when it got to the last act of the movie, I was kind of a little bit fizzling out at that point because the stakes just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and you just kind of get lost in the visuals so much that, and all of a sudden you're at the end, you're like, oh, we're at the end? Oh, this is it. Oh, that's the end. Of course it is. And it feels fitting, and it works. And the movie works as a Mario Brothers movie. And I think they've done it a great amount of, service in that fact. And I know Nintendo's been looking over their shoulders saying, hey, Illumination, you guys got to get this right. And I think that they really, really did. I think this is a family movie. If you have little kids and things, you bring them to this movie, they're going to have a great time because there's so much stuff thrown at you that I think kids are really going to enjoy it. And I tell you, even for me, there were so many times I had a smile on my face and I was going, oh, this is good, this is fun, and oh, I like Mario, and oh my God, they brought that in, and the member berries are going on over and over and over and over again, and it's fun, and I think that they nailed it for Nintendo. I don't know how else you could have done a Mario movie, taking all the IPs and all the characters from the past games and making them into a movie. I think that they made it work. I don't think it's a perfect movie. It's a movie that I think I will only ever watch again with my daughter. I won't be sitting up by myself watching, but I think it's a bit of fun, and I think it's a good popcorn movie for anybody who wants to go in and enjoy some Mario fan service and then some. You're gonna sit there eating popcorn, having a good time, laughing with your buddies and your friends, talking about, oh, look at that, oh, this is this, and oh my God, can you believe they put that in? You'll be saying that a lot. I know I'm going on about that, but that's the main thing. And just one last thing, the music, as I kind of mentioned, very, very good. Very good, very powerful, very intense, but so many beautiful themes from every past Mario game. You'll recognize some of them. You'll probably know all of them. I know I did, and I had a big smile on my face for that. And I enjoyed the movie for what it is, and let me say, hey, it's better than the 1993 movie, that's for sure. And I had a good time with it and all that. I don't really rate things too much on the channel. I have in the past a little bit. I'd say this is like a 7.5 out of 10 for me. It almost landed. It's almost there. And who knows, maybe in the future when they make more of these movies, if this movie is even a success, I don't know. Only everybody going to the theater will make it that. I'd be happy to see some future sequels, that is for sure. So guys, that is my review out of the theater of the new Super Mario Brothers movie. So anyways, guys, until next time.